I sit by the bench. Outside it's lovely, a quiet, gentle air. I am 99 years old. When I say it, I hear myself as if from far away, as if those words don't quite belong to me. 99. It's almost a century. It's almost a story. And you know what's strangest about all of this? That inside I still feel like that young woman from Kielce, running through a wheat field, believing she had time for everything. Time to apologize, time for conversations, time to say the things she never said. Time. How many times did I convince myself I had it? Today I want to tell you 6 things I regret. Not because I'm looking for sympathy. At my age, I would be ashamed to seek it. I'm saying this because maybe some of you are halfway through your journey and can still change something. Or maybe you're already where I am, and you'll know you're not alone. Regret 1, and this one hurts the most. I never told my mother how much I loved her. I was 32 when she died. She had been sick for months, lying in that small bed near the stove, and I would rush in between one task and another. I cooked soup, changed the sheets, asked how she felt, but never, not even once, did I sit beside her and say the simple, ordinary words. Mom, I love you. You are my whole world. Thank you for everything. Why? Because I thought she knew. Because I thought it was understood. Because I was busy. Because back then, people didn't say such things. Love was shown through work, through duty, through presence, not through words. And now, after 67 years, I sit here and think about it every morning. And I know this. Love should never be treated as something obvious. People leave, and they take with them all the words we never said. Regret 2. I chose pride over my marriage. I met Stanislaw in 1948. He had calm eyes and a voice that sounded like certainty. We married quickly. Times were different then. No one waited long. In the first years, we were happy, or at least, I think we were. Because happiness in youth is careless. You live inside it without noticing it. Only later, from a distance, do you understand what you had. Stasio and I argued often about money, about children, about nothing important. But there were also deeper arguments about always needing to be right. I was stubborn. He was too. And one year, I was 41, I remember it clearly. We argued about something so trivial that today I don't even remember what it was. And I said something I should never have said, something that hurt him deeply. It took me a year to apologize. A year. For a year we lived side by side like strangers under the same roof. A year wasted, mine and his. And when I finally apologized, he smiled and said, "I forgave you a long time ago." And only then did I feel how much that year had cost us. I don't know how many years he had left after that. He passed away 8 years later, from his heart, in the middle of the night, without warning. And to this day I think about that 1 year, a year of pride instead of love, a year I will never get back. Some moments are like glass. As long as they are whole, you don't see how fragile they are. Only when they shatter do you understand what they were. Regret 3. I wasn't there for my son when he needed me most. Merrick was 20 when he first became unwell. Nothing serious. At least that's what we thought at the time. Anxiety, restlessness, sleeplessness. The doctor said, exhaustion, youth, it will pass. I believed it because I wanted to believe it, because I was busy with work, because Stashu wasn't well either, because there was always some reason why tomorrow would be a better time to talk. But tomorrow never came. Merrick closed himself off slowly, so slowly I almost didn't notice. He came home, ate in silence, went to his room. He stopped telling me about his work, his friends, his feelings. And I, instead of asking, told myself, he's an adult. He'll manage. One evening he came into the kitchen and sat across from me. He looked at me for a moment and began to speak. And I stood up because something was boiling on the stove. I literally stood up in the middle of his sentence and went to stir the soup. To this day, I don't know what he wanted to tell me, because he never tried again. For years, I carried that moment inside me like a stone, because that unfinished sentence might have been the most important thing he ever wanted to say to me. And I stirred the soup. I am 99 now. Merrick is 68. He calls me every Sunday. He is polite, asks about my health, says he will visit. But between us, there is something without a name, something built from years of inattention, a silence no conversation can fill. Regret 4. I was afraid to dream out loud. I wanted to write. For as long as I can remember, I wrote in my mind, formed sentences before falling asleep, saw stories in every person I met, but never, not once, did I allow myself to say it out loud. What would people say? Who would work? Dreams are a luxury for those who have time. I had one notebook, blue with a broken spine. I wrote in it at night when everyone was asleep. Small stories memories, fragments. And then, after Stanisław died, while cleaning the house, I burned it. I don't even know why. Maybe out of shame. Maybe because I felt those words weren't worth keeping. Today I think that notebook was the most honest part of me, and I burned it for the same reason I stayed silent my whole life. Fear that what I carried inside wasn't good enough. And now I know every word written honestly has value. Dreams don't need permission. There is nothing more painful than living 99 years with a story inside you that you never told anyone. Regret 5. I never learned to let go. I carried grudges for years. I had a sister-in-law I argued with in 1971 over our parents' house, over division, over money. It was a terrible argument, full of words you cannot take back. And for 23 years we didn't speak. 23 years, almost a quarter of a century. And when she died in the winter of 1994, quietly, without warning, I sat at her funeral and thought, why? What was the point of that silence? What did it give me? What did it take from her? Let go. It sounds simple, but no one teaches you how. No one tells you that letting go is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. That by holding on to pain, you hurt yourself the most. That the time you spend nurturing resentment is time taken from your own life, not theirs. Love without forgiveness is like a garden without rain. It may look beautiful for a while, but inside it slowly dies. Regret 6, and this is the hardest to say. I didn't live for myself. My whole life I lived for someone else, for my mother, for Stasiu, for Marek, for work, for neighbors who needed help, for a home that always demanded more, and myself. That woman inside me, the one with bright eyes and the blue notebook. I treated her as something that could wait. Wait. Your turn will come. First children, then husband, then peace. But peace never came. Because when I had done everything for everyone, I no longer knew what I wanted. I had forgotten, or maybe I never allowed myself to remember. I was 60 when I traveled alone for the first time, to Krakow for 3 days, alone. I sat in a cafe on the main square with coffee and cake, and I cried, not out of sadness, but something else, relief, the feeling that, for a moment, I existed only for myself, that no one needed anything from me, that I could sit, watch people, and think my own thoughts. 3 days. The first 3 days in 60 years that belonged only to me. And I remember those 3 days more vividly than many entire years. I am 99 years old. The rain still falls outside the window. The cat sleeps by the radiator. Soon Merrick will call. He always calls on Sundays. If I could tell my younger self anything, I would say this: speak. Tell people you love them. Say it often, loudly, without shame. Apologize sooner, not because you are weak, but because a year of pride costs more than you think. Be there for your child, not just in body, but with your whole self. Put the spoon down. Leave the soup. Listen. Dream out loud. Write, sing, draw. Whatever is inside you, don't hide it. None of us are given forever. Let go sooner, because resentment is a prison you build for yourself. And live, at least a little, for yourself, because when you are 99 years old, sitting by the window, watching the rain, the only question that remains is, did I live? Not, was I good to others? Did I live? I lived, but I left too much for later, and later never came. You still have time. Don't lose it the way I did.